Afternoon, everybody. My name is Bill Gladson. I'm the state attorney in the 5th Judicial Circuit, including Citrus County. I appreciate y'all being here today. We have decided as an office very early on that transparency was going to be important to us. And when there was something that was newsworthy that we wanted to share and that we were able to share with the press, we would do so. So that's one reason that we're here today. We're also here to give you an update on a case that's garnered some media attention, particularly locally, of course. And with that, I'm going to do some introductions. To my left, I have Sheriff Vincent and Captain Baird from Citrus County Sheriff's Office. And to my right, I have Lieutenant McLaughlin and then Detective Charlie Adolph. So I want to talk a little bit about why we're here, and then what led up to these events, and then I'll cover the developments that we've had today. So back in April 11th, the Sheriff's Office responded to a call for service shortly before 11 a.m. And there was upon arrival, they found a deceased male located sitting on a couch in this place of residence. It was over in the Cherrywood Court, Crystal River area. They immediately knew that there was foul play, and they recognized that they had something that needed to be investigated right away. And this sheriff's office does an excellent job and has an excellent team of people that respond whenever there's a violent crime, or any crime for that matter that deserves the investigation from a professional agency. So they did a great job. They started working the case right away, and very quickly they recognized that there were some things that were not consistent about what some of the witnesses were saying. And that gave them pause and an opportunity to really drill down into the details of what they were presented with. On April 13th, 2 days later, they announced the arrest of David Nemyier, the son-in-law of the victim, Kyle. Kyle's 67 years old when he was murdered here in Citrus County. It's tragic. It's another reminder of what devastating consequences can come from domestic violence. The victim in this case, Kyle Pazian, was the son-in-law of the defendant, David Nemyier. Earlier today, our office, Assistant State Attorneys Blake Shore and Assistant State Attorney Tara Hartman, presented this case to a grand jury. In Florida, to charge somebody with first-degree murder, they have to be brought before a grand jury. In other cases where it's not a capital case, we can file an information and we can move on. In this case, we have to bring in citizens to listen to the evidence and decide whether or not an indictment for first-degree murder is necessary. In this particular case, the grand jury returned a true bill of indictment against the defendant in this particular case. I'm going to read the indictment so y'all have it. It's murder in the first degree with a firearm, premeditated. State of Florida versus David Nemyier. The grand jurors of the state of Florida, impaneled and sworn to inquire for true presentment to make in and for the body of Citrus County upon their oaths, do present in Citrus County, the state of Florida, that David P. Nemyier, on or about April 9th, 2025, did unlawfully and from a premeditated design to effect the death of Kyle Pazian, a human being, kill and murder the said Kyle David Pazian. And during the course of the commission of the offense, David Nemyier actually possessed and discharged a firearm as that term's defined in Chapter 790. This is in violation of many Florida statutes. And as you know, in Florida, when you commit a crime and you use a firearm, that's an enhancement as well. So I think a couple things I want to mention about the investigation itself. Detective Adolph was the lead detective on this case with the Citrus County Sheriff's Office, and he did an excellent job interviewing, collecting evidence, piecing what happened together. It really makes a huge difference for our office if we want to have a prosecutable case, to have detectives that are dedicated, thorough, methodical, and he did an excellent job in all of the work that he did. Another group of people that often don't get mentioned, crime scene analysts. In this particular case, the crime scene specialist did an excellent job. They collected all kinds of vital evidence. The digital forensics that was used by the Citrus County Sheriff's Office to confirm some of the stories from the witnesses that were taken in this case really is an incredible way. It's an incredible tool for a prosecutor to be able to tell the story, an accurate story about what happened. Because people will come in and they'll say things, and it's really important for us to verify them when we can. And it's also important always to have circumstantial evidence that proves or tends to prove a particular statement. In this case, the work done by the Citrus County Sheriff's Office forensics teams, crime scene analysts, it was critical and vital to us getting some conclusion in this case. So with the indictment being issued, the defendant's going to be held on no bond and will remain on no bond as he was after he was arrested until this case is resolved. And with that, I think I'll turn it over to Sheriff Vincent if he has might have a few words to say.
Good afternoon, everyone. Sheriff David Vincent, and I just wanted to say that this is a great example of teamwork. State Attorney Gladson and his team, as far as bringing a case forward this quickly, getting that indictment today, we appreciate the hard work from their team. From our perspective, and my perspective personally, we are in this business to help victims of crime and to help protect victims of crime and help their families who tend to fall victims to crime. So from our team, I have Captain Matt Baird here with me, Lieutenant Allison McLaughlin, and the lead detective, 𝗙𝗓𝗏𝗡, who did a tremendous job. And like State Attorney Gladson said, that it took a team effort, and there's a lot of people that had their hands in this case that help us get to this resolution today with this indictment. So I would like to turn it over to our lead detective, 𝗙𝗓𝗏𝗡, in this case, who did a tremendous job, and tell you a little bit more about the facts of this case.
Thank you, Sheriff Vincent. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Detective 𝗙𝗓𝗏𝗡, Citrus County Sheriff's Office, Major Crime Section. I'll echo some of what you've already heard today. I'd like to begin by offering my condolences to the victim, their family, and friends. While I am lead on the investigation, I'd like to take a moment to acknowledge the collective efforts of the many individuals who played a critical role in today's indictment. In cases of this magnitude, collaboration and clear communication are key. This is a prime example of how our team's relentless commitment to justice benefits not just our agency, but the victim and their families as well. First, I'd like to recognize our outstanding team of detectives, forensic specialists, evidence technicians, and patrol officers. Their tireless dedication and teamwork from the outset were instrumental in bringing us to this point. I'd also like to extend my sincere gratitude to the personnel at the 5th Judicial Circuit State Attorney's Office. Their steadfast support continues to be essential as we work together to keep our community safe and hold those who threaten it accountable. Now, I want to address something that I know is on the minds of many in our community. While this is an incredibly tragic and disturbing event, it's important to make one thing clear. This was an isolated incident. Citrus County has long been and remains a safe place to live, work, and raise a family. The quick action leading to today's indictment demonstrates that when violence does occur, we act swiftly, decisively, and with the full strength of our agency and our partners. The Citrus County Sheriff's Office remains committed to offering that same level of service going forward. Thank you.
If anybody has any questions, we'll take a few questions now. All right. Hearing none, I appreciate you coming out. Thank you for being here this afternoon, and that concludes our conference.